Ah.
Down the corridor, you hear mad echoing laughter. It gets closer and closer, and is soon accompanied by a green tinge. Before around the corner arrives a flame skull.
Oh!
Ooh, very good. Oh,
It's exactly what you wanted, Theo. It's a skull.
It's
with fire.
bones!
It's bones.
I love bones!
hear tiny little wing flaps. They land. Oh, what was it? Oh, it seems to be invisible. Oh, you hear the ripping noise of invisibility ending, and you see an imp.
An imp and a skull and a flame skull. Okay, it's bones. Okay, cool. Welcome to Challenge Raiders. It's the show where we talk about a D&D5e monster. I draw it and we give it a rating out of 20. I'm Theo. I do the drawing stuff.
I'm Neil, social media mogul.
And I'm Sam, world famous Twitch streamer.
So, this is one of the. We're lucky here because I know what a flame skull looks like because I know both of the words that make that up.
It's very much Ronsil, the monster.
Yeah, that's exactly what it says on the tin.
What we are gonna have here is we are gonna have another 2 monster special where I start the drawing with a big circle on one side, which I think includes all of them, because also the Death Tyrant was a big flying skull.
Yep. So I desperately searched for a small little blue dude.
Yeah, I remember you did say you wanted to find another horrible blue man for me to draw,
Yeah.
because you hate me secretly, it would seem, or maybe more overtly than I thought. Sure, but the imp, the imp's sort of weird in D&D, right? It's not, because my immediate thought for imp is I think of like the Oblivion Scamp, which is just like a funny little devil man, like basically a demon goblin.
Yeah, it's kind of like demon guy with little wings and a stinger.
But yeah, they're sort of like bugs. They have specifically a stinging tail, right?
Yeah. They're kind of like, imagine the little red comedy demon holding a pitchfork and give it a stingy tail, and that's basically what imp is.
That's fair. Okay.
Yeah, and they're devils, so yeah.
Sure. Yeah. And I mean, I assume the flame skull is skull sized. Is there any information about how big an imp is? I mean, they're both tiny.
They're both tiny.
The theme, we didn't say. The theme of today is tiny monsters.
Yeah, that's what I was going to bring up. Our only brief was that we had to come here with a tiny creature.
Something very small.
Yeah, because, it's been a while since we did all the big monsters in June, but, it's just fun to do something very small sometimes. And we've not talked about any of those rules, not that there are a lot of them about being tiny. Anyway.
And if you guys aren't very initiated with that, like D&D, how like size categories work, it's like a medium is like a human being, small is like a goblin, and then below that is tiny, which is these little dudes.
Yeah, and it's literally like anything from something that's sort of like a foot tall to something that's, well, like a few inches tall, really. Not that there's a lot of stuff that's really minuscule tiny, but
Like you get seahorses are statted in the game.
Yeah,
they're probably one of the smallest things.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they must be. Yeah. Anyway, what does the underside of the skull look like? I guess this is where I put the fire in. That's another good thing about the flame skull. You get to draw a skull, and then also you cover the bits you don't know what you're doing with fire.
Loads of green fire. Yeah.
Is it green specifically? That's kind of weird. Is it?
Specifically green fire.
That's quite odd.
It's probably likely due to the nature in which a flame skull is created.
Oh.
As it is made by dark sorcerers or, magic users, where they carve out the skull of a dead wizard and make them into a sentry for them that will do their bidding.
Oh, it's a wizard skull. So we've got to give him glasses because he was a nerd. No, we don't have to do that. That'd be rude. That's interesting though, because the other flying skull enemy, we'll talk about it later, I'm sure, is the demi-lich, and this is like, because it's a wizard skull specifically. I guess this is like a really rubbish demi-lich. This is like a proto demi-lich.
Well, it's like the minions of liches is like clearly meant to be like a
oh
skull.
yeah, that would be actually really good actually. Yeah,
vanquished mages,
This would definitely be like there'd definitely be some of these around the lair of a necromancer, like 100%.
They are undead, I assume.
Yes, they are tiny undead.
Sure, yeah.
Same as actually Demilich.
Yeah, Diminush was on the list. I was like,
It's
that'd be a real.
That's a big one.
That'd be a real mean one to put into a versus one. So
It also would.
It was also be the same picture.
It's a pretty similar picture. I need to get an imp in here. I've drawn a skull, sort of. What does I ran some imps once upon a time, so I kind of remember what they do. They go, as you said in the intro, they're invisible, like some of the time, right? How does that work?
Yeah. Well, they basically have at will invisibility.
At will, right? Yeah.
So what's really cool about an imp, just how cool they are is that they're very good at hiding. Like
Sure.
they can polymorph at will into different animals. Like
Oh wow.
they can do a spider, a raven, or a rat, and
sure.
then they can also just be invisible, and they can see and they can see through darkness and things. They're basically little trickster guys that lure mortals away, and encourage them to do things. But why I think imp is really like quite an interesting tiny creature is not necessarily as using it as just a monster for an adventure, but in the fact that player character warlocks can have them as familiars.
Oh, that's cool.
That is cool.
And as the DM, these are creatures that can talk.
Oh, nice.
And they can have personalities and everything that goes along with that. So you could always have a lot of fun with maybe having an imp that is less than happy to be a minion.
Yeah.
Sam, what can a flame skull actually do?
So the flame skull, obviously, because it is the skull of a spellcaster, like a wizard, it does have like a legacy of life. So it's not that dead person anymore, but it will have their voice and it will remember their spells, and it can use them without the components. Obviously, from a visual point, its main attack is that it shoots eye lasers, basically fire from its two eyes. Yeah,
Cries laser beams.
It's got two red flaming eyes that obviously contrast with like the green flames, and it will multi-attack with those. It would have wizard spells prepared. Obviously, like it has a set of them given for you in the monster manual to obviously match what its challenge rating is. But if you wanted to, like, there's loads of stuff we could go into with maybe a wizard that the party knew being turned into a flame skull and having his like distinctive spells. There's a lot
and having like
that.
If you had a wizard who had like a signature spell that they were always casting, and then you have a flame skull where they went that uses it.
It casts it and then laughs in that guy's voice.
Yeah, cast tiny hut and then goes. That'd be very sick.
I'm very much imagining it would be great that you could have a flaming skull of each of the named spellcasters in like an encounter, and they're all casting the different named spells.
Yeah.
Like that skull is Bigby.
Oh yeah. That could be cool. Yeah.
That skull is Melf.
That could be really cool.
Skull's Liam.
Especially if you're doing like a Vecna, because like aren't most of the named wizards like killed by Vecna in the?
They're all killed by Vecna.
So if you're having like a Vecna, you could have a bunch of flame skulls of them in doing their signature spells. That could be quite fun.
Oh, that's pretty good, actually. That's pretty fun.
I like that a lot.
Yeah. What am I doing?
With imps,
I
just want to read the little bit of a description because of like we're talking. I was talking about having them as a familiar that engages with the party. Well, it says that basically they'll serve any evil master. You know, they're lawful evil devils, they follow evil. But it says here, but it can't be relied upon to carry out tasks with any speed or efficiency.
They're the dudes from Disney Hercules. They're Hades'. Well, they're probably imps, to be honest, from the way they're written. They're very dumb.
They can go about their business being little scamps.
Yeah.
A great little, quite a tough, from when I played your encounter and looking at the stats.
Yeah.
They're a tough challenge rating 1 enemy because they have like resistance to like all non-magical attacks and cold damage
definitely,
and stuff.
And they have, what I liked about them when I was choosing to put them in the campaign I did run, I liked that they start off invisible. It makes things a little bit more interesting than just, here's a room full of like goblins. Which obviously, is one of the things that makes it distinct. And also the fact that if they are starting invisible, it means you can easily change the encounter by saying there were some more invisible ones. Unless someone in your party casts see invisibility, which is obviously you then have to decide how many there are. But if you want to like go, I'm going to add some more imps to this, then you can say some more imps decloak and appear in, which, it's a bit of fun.
And also, when it's shape changed, it explicitly keeps all of its stats.
Oh, okay.
It doesn't change into a rat.
It's not like true. It's a proper polymorph thing then.
Yeah, because usually you keep your mental stats, but change your physical stats is the thing, isn't it?
Yeah, but he doesn't. He keeps his stats, which I think from watching Chris Perkins play, he used a Quasit, which is basically the demon version of an
Right, yeah.
He basically had what seemed like a talking regular animal actually be a Quasit in disguise, which could be great for an imp. Your party comes across a magical talking.
Yeah, you think, it must be some sort of fey creature, or some spirit is talking to us. No, it's an imp.
Yeah, and he maybe he does a couple of evil things that are a bit funny.
And I'm also thinking an imp's a good opportunity to bring out your wise guy voice. Because everyone knows imps should talk like they're from New York. I don't know why that's the thing in my mind, but I feel like that makes a lot of sense. Just a little angry, yeah, what do you want?
You ain't gonna mess with the boss, right?
I think that's quite... Again, depending on the tone of your campaign, of course. But,
yeah, it could work with that. It also works with just, maniacal evil. Just very high-pitched.
Kind of shrill, yeah.
You wouldn't mess with the master's plan.
Yeah, and then it becomes a grovelling servant of you if you're sufficiently evil. I like kind of amusing idea of having one not against its will and forcing it to help you against its master, but obviously you are the immediate danger, but it knows that if it helps you, then it will be in danger anyway. I don't know. It could be fun.
I love new master way more than old master.
Yeah. It's constantly trying to escape.
That would be great for if you did have not an evil party, but maybe an evil member in the party, which is probably the best way to do it, because having a whole evil party means everybody backstabs each other. But having one more morally grey character, and he's fighting the guy, and the imp just goes down to his knees. Oh please, I'll serve you.
It's well, alright, fair enough. And obviously, because an imp's weak enough that at any level 1 imp, your party could probably subjugate it.
Yeah, at level 1,
they do, because they have the poison sting they've got on their tails quite nasty from what I remember for a challenge thing, whatever they are.
3d6 poison damage.
That's it. Yes, that's big.
That is mean.
That could wipe out a guy.
They're great. Speak infernal and common. And again, think about that element of a warlock having one as a familiar. It's way different than having a little pet rat.
Yeah.
You've got this physical creature that
go out and do things.
Yeah, that can be permanently invisible.
A lot of the things where you get a follower or an animal companion, the rules are sort of all over the place for them. But the warlock ones seem very solidly down and haven't changed at all since 5th has come out, so clearly they work and are fun. Anyways, does Demilich got any... Assume it's resistant to poison, because it's an undead, right?
It's actually... The Flame Skull is completely immune to poison damage.
Oh, it doesn't give a poop. Does he... I imagine it has all the usual resistances to, charm and stuff that undead...
Yeah, it can't be charmed, frightened, paralysed, poisoned. It's immune to cold fire poison, resistant to lightning, necrotic, and piercing. It also has magic resistance, so it has advantage in all saving throws against spells or other magical effects.
That's pretty good.
So,
the imp does. Imp does as well.
Oh right. Oh, cool. How much health?
So it's a devil.
Yeah. I assume it's less than 15 for both of them, right?
No, the Flame Skull has 40.
40? What chance rating is this thing?
4.
Oh, crumb. I didn't realise. I thought it was kind of weak for some reason.
No, it's fairly strong.
What's the highest spell it has?
Fireball.
Ooh. I mean, that makes sense. For a Flame Skull.
It has one slot for Fireball.
Okay, this imp...
That's how this battle opened up, though. He threw a fireball and the imp was unharmed. Fire immunity.
Oh, yeah! This imp's obviously... He's just tilted his skull up to fend off the eye lasers. I assume the imp beats it for strength, right?
I guess that... I mean... yeah, it does. How much strength does the imp have?
I don't... 6.
The Flame Skull has 1.
Oh wow!
Yeah, he's punching him around.
wow.
You could bat him about. His
That
other
is a
stats
rare.
are really good, but he has 1 strength.
One.
So you can bat these around with like a baseball bat.
Yeah,
Just throw these
just
around.
grab it,
I
grab
guess
it straight and
actually-
put it in a bag.
In a 1v1 fight, the only way the flame skull could hurt it is it knows magic missile.
Oh, well, that'd kill me outright.
That kill
Yeah.
you, because otherwise it's got like flaming sphere. Its main attack, it has multi attack with its
Of
eye
fire
rays, but
damage,
they're
yeah.
both 3d6 fire damage.
Yeah, but Sam, 4d4 plus 3.
Yeah, that'll do it. Yeah,
That gets an imp, yeah. Unless you can't hit what you can't see.
exactly.
Yeah, that's why he's turning his head up. The simp knows.
Oh.
I don't know about you guys. I'm not going to go numbers yet, but like I'm thinking quite high already for both these because I already liked Imp, and Flame Skull. I never really read, but I like its lore. It's pretty fun.
There's a couple more like interesting
Yeah,
things with the flame skull.
Go ahead, yeah. Alright.
So kind of like kind of linking it to like Demi-Lich kind of stuff. It does have rejuvenation. So unless it gets like removed, curse, dispel, magic upon, it will reform
Okay.
in an hour.
In an
So-
hour? That's pretty
Yeah.
quick.
Yeah, so this will just keep coming back for you if you're like chilling out in its lair.
Sorry, what were the ways to
So,
get it?
It will regain all of its hit points in 1 hour, and there's holy water sprinkled on its remains, or a dispel magic or remove curse spell is cast on it.
So there's a very possible eventuality where you're like in a dungeon with your party, you do not have those spells prepared,
Nope.
and you kill the thing, and that basically means you can't make any short rests.
Unless you literally have the party like go like rest in halves, and one half will just be on like
Yeah.
skull stomping.
Flame skull.
Just wait
But
for it to
again,
respawn.
But it's a strong thing. You don't want
Yeah.
to be fighting
It's
them on
not
your own. Yeah.
It wouldn't. Unless you're prepared, it wouldn't be a super easy fight. And I
Yeah.
assume when it comes back, I don't know if it what that means for spells and stuff.
Oh.
But yeah, in a dungeon though, like you if you did want to rest in a dungeon, you'd like find like a room you could barricade.
Yeah.
And this thing would wake up and not just instantly know
But
where
it's
you
not.
are.
But
So it would be like I could see that if you have a quite sprawling complex,
Yeah.
it could be really fun to put these in a central area that you know that they're going to have to come through.
I'm also just thinking the fact that a party might not know that they can do that. So the second time they'll be smart, but the first time they might just go, "Oh, we just cleared this room out. Let's rest
Give 'em a
here."
rest. Yeah, totally.
Mm.
And then just see
And,
the skull fragments start reforming.
Yeah, just like.
It could actually be a really fun basis of the whole place is if you let the party know somehow beforehand, maybe a cleric in the village or something.
Yeah.
If that these undead, I mean, we're building up this kind of narrative with these undead servants over these multiple episodes, right?
There's definitely going to have to be some overlord of all these guys, right? Maybe it was that vampire back in like episode 4. Anyway.
But he was obviously just a minion for the mind
Oh,
flayers.
obviously, yeah.
Obviously.
But the idea that you'd like sow a piece of information, like you guys should really stock up because of these, these minions rise anew.
Or maybe like the cleric of gifts you some holy water, like as a good luck.
Exactly.
Yeah. Maybe not knowing that it'll be as helpful as it is, but hoping and that could be like a cool little thing because then they'd be like, oh, and that NPC gave us this cool thing, nice.
An interesting thing, just to carry on with that, like
No, sure,
there
yeah.
is like an extra sentence or two on that specific point,
Oh yeah.
which talks about, because obviously these skulls are made and given a specific task, kind of like you give like a golem one.
Oh,
So
okay, yeah.
It might be told, it'd be like it might be like, oh, protect my treasure.
Yeah.
If it reforms and the treasure's been stolen, it doesn't have an intended purpose anymore, and it is beholden to no one and just becomes autonomous, and you can just go about and do what it wants.
What's this intelligence?
16.
Do they maintain their memories and stuff?
No, not fully. They might have. It's more like they may have some of those memories, but it's more like an echo.
So
of
in a
itself.
way, it'll become kind of like a ghost.
Somewhat,
So-
yes.
So now, not like not specifically the one the D&D ghost, but like it'll become a wandering thing. It's like now that's a fun like encounter where it's like you
A
find a
wandering
flame
flame
skull
skull.
just like in an ancient ruins, like looted already. It's like I'm just here. I don't know why I'm here. Do they have languages?
They can speak common.
Oh gosh.
So you could even just like find one maybe like on like a lonely night, and it just remembers a name, and it's just trying to find like from its past life or something like that. Maybe you don't know.
Yeah.
It could be very Disney as well. You could have, one of these guys playing cards with another thing in the dungeon that's looted.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh hey, how you doing? Welcome to the
It
tomb.
keeps trying to move its card, but sets it on fire when it goes to bite it.
Yeah.
It could be both styles. The super hardcore. I don't think I would use a flame skull in that role of a free.
I would have Flame Skull being, if it was going to be talking, it'd be comical. I would not have it as like I would not have it as like a dark backstory kind of thing.
Skeletal fire.
The thing is, it inherently has a relatively unpleasant backstory. So doubling down on that again, if that's what your campaign's about, then fair enough. But you don't have to lay it on heavy, because it seems kind of pathetic to talk to the floating Ghost Rider head. But then it's real strong.
Yeah, it's quite strong.
And now I'm imagining like your NPC friend who's a wizard has been turned into one, and then you're all very sad, and then you kill the bad guy who turned him into one, and he reforms. He's like, "Oh, I'm a flame skull now. Like I'm me again. I'm free, but I am a flame skull. So thanks, guys. I don't really know what to do now. So now your friend is just a flying head, and maybe he can go back and fulfill his old role, but now he's a flame skull.
That could be a fun Xanathar type character.
Yeah.
Like the Beholder merchant kind of character. Like he could be a wizard in town who's got his store and he's just a floating skull.
It may be like he's sitting under a robe, so he just looks like there's this weird floating robe with like a glowing like underneath it, but he's got the hood down all the time. You can't see his face. Like, I'm just a flame skull propping up a robe. Sorry, guys.
He's got a bunch of homunculuses running around the room.
Yeah.
It is constantly producing 15 foot of bright light and 15 foot of dim light with its flames.
Well, that's, that guy never needs to light up his room. He doesn't
Exactly.
Tinted glass.
He's got sunglasses on. Cyclops to stop his lasers coming out. Oh, dearie me.
Imagine the amount of money he's saving on wax. He doesn't need candles ever again.
That is the biggest lie of D&D, is that candles are the cheapest item in the game. And that is not true of medieval times. That is not representative.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, but a level 1 wizard can just snap light.
Oh, yeah, I mean...
So the candle industry obviously collapsed.
Yeah.
That is pretty much everything on the Flame Skull, I would say.
Fair. Is there any other imp stuff?
Outside of the regular devil stuff that we've kind of talked about, like we've given demons and devils often a bad rap.
Sure, yeah.
On Challenger.
I apologise for that. They are cool.
Unjustly,
we'll sort that out.
And I like imps as being like the lowest of the real devils, like not really people turned into things, like just these are devils that run around. They do bidding of evil masters. And they can be a great little low-level foil or friend.
And they're just an interesting generic bad guy as well, because they have some interesting mechanics. They are very deadly, which is kind of scary. I'd say that's probably their weakest thing about that, is that they are unexpectedly deadly.
I think that's one of the things I like most about them, is that they are clearly a devil. They have all this heritage stuff with them about like resistances to magic.
Sure, yeah. I'm more thinking about that 3d6 poison on fail save. That's pretty nasty.
That's kind of what I'm playing in. Like they don't pull the punch of what they are like any of the other true demons.
Sure, that's fair enough. And
they're tough little cookies for what they are. Like, it's challenge rating 1 and not challenge rating 1.
That is true, and I think there's a reason why like I use them as like the generic whenever I needed like minions. I used imps because they're just neat, and again I like the invisibility. It means you can kind of play them quite tactically if you want, and it kind of makes the party have to try and use some of those more unused spells like see invisibility and all that sort of thing. Make some perception checks.
It's just very interesting to have like a low-level guy like that. I mean, I would probably nerf him.
Sure, yeah.
And when you get to higher levels, if you're going to use imps, I would just make them all minions.
Yeah.
Bother with like hit points and resistances.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah. But the invisibility is good fun. Anyway, yeah, let's talk some numbers. Yeah.
Numbers.
Again, I'm thinking pretty high for both of these. I like them both quite a lot. Flame Skull, it has that cool opportunity to make it more than just being an enemy, which is good. And I think perhaps more so than the imp, it can be like a character, because it's like a whole... You can give it more of a story if you want. But again, you don't actually have to do that. You can just say, this guy's been collecting wizard skulls for a long time, and that's why he's got a whole room full of them. And he's turned some of them into these monsters.
You can do either.
Yeah.
I see that being cool, but I don't think Flame Skull... Like, if I'm going to have a, NPC kind of thing in the villain cast, I don't think I'm going to use a Flame Skull for that outside of Comedy Skull character.
Sure. And what I will say, we've not talked about the Demi-Lich, but I feel... Maybe the Demi-Lich is like a more sinister version of the same idea, I guess, for that. You can... Because that is like a thing you can talk to.
Well, the Demi-Lich is still something that is still a person, whereas this is some weird middle point.
This is a turret.
It's not really a mind. It's kind of
it's a shadow.
Yeah.
It's a living turret that's been made to shoot spells every now and again. But it's very cool. 13? Does that sound fair? That's my immediate go-to. Well, maybe not immediate, but
I was thinking
13
like
or 12
11.
maybe.
11. I'm thinking 11.
I could go down to 11.
We can meet at 12 or whatever, but I'm fine. But I think they're pretty cool, but they're not amazing. Usable. Well, it's not amazing usable, but I'm not really seeing them used. And there'll be a reason for that.
Yeah.
That's what I was about to say. Is the reason why I'm an 11 is we kept talking about the same scenario.
That is actually that is a fair point. Yeah.
Like it's the evil wizard minion.
Yeah.
It is what it is. It's good at it. It's very good at it.
It's a cool minion to have.
Yeah.
It's never gonna be it's never gonna be the boss of a dungeon, even though challenge rating wise and like damage wise
it could be.
It could be.
A very early one, yeah, like in a bigger campaign.
But it's it's not cool in the same way. So I'm willing to go to 11. I feel that's okay. But I'm going to definitely say higher for Imp then, because I like him more so for sure. I don't really have a number in my head though. Do you guys got opinions for that?
For Imp?
Yeah.
I'm thinking what you said earlier, 13.
13?
Maybe
yeah,
12.
That's fine by me. 13 or 12 is fine.
I could definitely go to 13 for Imp. Again, when I don't have a huge amount of DMing experience, but like when I was looking through like demons, I was like Imp, and I read it like, this is pretty cool. This is quite fun. I also thought, this is pretty weird. The picture's like a weird like mosquito dragonfly demon. It's pretty strange. I've just drawn like a man with horns, but that's whatever.
I'm very, very into it.
He's fun. He's really getting in there.
11, 13. I'm okay with 13.
Two pretty cool tiny monsters.
Yeah, it's a small episode. Yo ho ho. I think it's gonna be the same next to all of them, but anyway.
I mean, I can't attest to the quality of this episode yet, obviously, even though it's going to be 10 out of 10 because we're amazing.
They're always perfect.
But honestly, when I was looking through tiny creatures, I thought it'd be a lot more difficult than it turned out to be.
Sure.
Because there was like there's not
millions of them for one thing.
There's not millions of them, and a bunch of them are rat and
yes, a lot of just animals are tiny.
I was so tempted to just put out a seahorse and see what you said to me.
Yeah.
Well, seahorse only works if Neil also chose a water one. I would do it if you say seahorse. I'll do it. I'll do it. But I'll question why we're doing it. The problem here is we're coming down off a high of 2 good drawings I did. This one's fine, but look, I really tried for Death Knight. We're going back to Nuparibo territory. Maybe not that far down, but it's moving towards that.
By Nuparibo territory, you literally mean hell.
Yes, we're back in hell. It's better than that. But
Combat.
It looked. The top of the screen looked very empty.
Combat.
So I wrote the word combat.
Are these words always what Norman's thinking at the time?
I was thinking that is probably what he's looking and going, combat. Let's see.
Oh, I love it though. The gradient is great.
I like that he's Norman's like very Empire Strikes Back at the end now.
Yeah, he's wrapped up.
He's wearing Ham's clothes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is a fight that Norman's just gonna leave alone. He's just gonna. This is him going through one of the rooms in this dungeon. He's just like, oh, just walks off.
He's walking through a randomly generated dungeon. There is one flame skull fighting one imp.
Yes, right. I know. I love random tables, but
they're great.
I feel like this feels like a random encounter, but like
I think most of these double episodes do.
Yeah, they
not
do.
Zvargla Breezu. That one.
Oh, that was
legit.
obviously that was planned. But I think I think Matt Colville does say like in one of his things like because he doesn't use random encounters, but like he pretends to.
Yeah.
So he'll have people roll, and then he'll say, this appears," but obviously it's something that he has thought to do, which I kind of, in a way, I quite like that.
You can never share that fact, though.
Exactly. Yeah. The way that I would probably think about doing that is just have a bunch of pre-made encounters
presets that you choose from.
Yeah. So, for example, like we were talking about a while ago, that with the flail snail, you'd have the flail snail encounter already planned out.
Yeah.
But like it can kind of go not anywhere, but you put it in somewhere that makes sense. Anyway, being the one subscriber may make you feel tiny, but you're gargantuan to us. So subscribe and make us feel tiny in comparison, I guess. I don't know.
Wow.
That was almost good. I really ruined it at the end, but that started out all right.
I mean, your comment right there, Theo, made me feel a little impish, which I don't like. But you should like the video.
Also, don't flame skull us in the comments.
Veto.
You can flame people. Like you can flame people in comments.
Flame!
Flame bracket
skull in there. Like,
yeah.
What it was is that you emphasised skull.
I know. I meant to try and put it in parentheses, but I just said it louder.
I think that pretty much sums up this show right there. Incorrect emphasis.
It's hard to imagine that we'd be currently having thousands of subscribers and huge piles of money if we were more competent at that. I don't think that's what's holding us back.
No, I don't think so either.
I think it's our commitment. I think it's our commitment to making very bad long content. That's definitely what it is.
I think what's holding us back is everything we do.
Everything we do, content of the show, the nicheness of the hobby. It's bigger than it's ever been, but it's still
Guys, tomorrow, do you guys just want to go and make a Fortnite video?
Yeah.
Yeah.